What's up, everyone? Welcome to Psych Walker Studios. My name is Jake. I am a PhD student in clinical psychology and lifelong fan of LEGO Star Wars. Today I have a couple of new figures I am adding to the collection and one figure / order that I am really unhappy about, and I will touch on that briefly. But subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give this video a like. There's a Patreon in the description below if you'd like to support the channel in that way. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. I am on a mission to collect every playable character from LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga video game. While only about half of the characters can be made from official LEGO minifigure releases, custom designers have stepped in with unique prints, molds, and sometimes rare non-official colors to fill in the gaps, making it possible to complete the collection in its entirety. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Let's dive into the latest update. Ki-Adi-Mundi. This figure is from Nishi Customs, and I have multiple issues regarding my experience with this order and this figure. And just to preface, this is just my experience. I cannot speak for the experience of others with this seller, so I'm not degrading Nishi in any way. Just being honest about my experience, as I always am, and I will keep this as respectful as possible. First, I will point out a couple of obvious things. The Complete Saga Ki-Adi has brown arms and a cape. Nishi designed this version off of LEGO Star Wars the video game, not TCS, which is obviously not a knock, but my order did not include a cape. So I initially planned on swapping the tan arms with brown ones so it would be TCS accurate and calling it a day, until I received this order and changed my mind because I will not be adding this figure to the display. First off, I waited over 6 months to receive this figure. I also ordered around $200 worth of other items from the site. I received most of those items a couple months ago, still 4 months later than my initial order date, and my Ki-Adi-Mundi was missing, along with other items. I reached out and Nishi apologized and was going to send it over. A couple of months later, I finally received it after half a year of my initial order date. And first, and my most minor issue, is that the image on the site shows this figure with a cape. My order did not include a cape, which isn't a huge deal, but when the image shows a cape and the character has a cape in the game, I think the figure should come with a cape. Second, and my biggest issue with this, is that my torso pad print quality is not good, and on top of that there are scratch and scuff marks on both the torso and legs. There are white irremovable marks on the pad print at the bottom left of the belt and on the collar, and there are also permanent minor scratches throughout. It's like this torso was a returned torso that had just been laying around or played with. There's wear and tear on it. So as a collector and as someone who spent a lot of money with this seller, received an order with multiple items missing, then received the most expensive item from that order and it's damaged and does not meet the quality standard that I'm looking for and that I would assume any general consumer of a product like this would be looking for, I'm not happy at all. And look, to the seller's defense, I know pad printing is difficult and not every print is going to be perfect, and I get that and I accept that. But there is a level of quality control that needs to be had in order to charge what you are charging for figures, especially if people are having to wait 4 to 6 months to receive their order. I don't like to critique without offering advice or support, and that is mine. Do not send a product if it is at the level of quality my Ki-Adi-Mundi is, especially if there were previous hiccups in the shipping process, etc. And by the way, this was not my only damaged or marked item that I received. I have reached out to request replacement parts or at least a partial refund, and I'm currently waiting to hear back. Anyhow, the head is good, but I have ordered another Ki-Adi-Mundi within the last few days from a different seller, and we'll add that one to the collection when I receive it, and we'll do a head comparison between these two. Anyhow, I added this to the video because I've been looking forward to receiving this for a long time, and sometimes I think it's good to give insight into behind the scenes processes that sometimes happen when collecting custom figures. Anyhow, again, I'm just speaking from my experience. If you have ordered from the seller and have had a great experience, let me know in the comments so others know as well. Ki-Adi-Mundi will return in a future update video. Anyhow, let's move on to the next figure being added to the collection, and that is Jar Binks. This is the official 1999 LEGO Jar Jar, which the TCS model was based after. Is it the most detailed figure? No, but it was the first figure to have a unique non-cylindrical head mold, which I think makes this one really iconic. I think they did a fantastic job with this Gungan head mold, and for 1999, I think it's a great representation of Jar Jar. Has LEGO made more detailed and technically accurate Gungans since? Of course they have, but this one is nostalgic and holds up decently well well in my opinion still. Every time I see this figure, I am also taken back to the Invasion of Naboo level when you get to play as Jar Jar for the first time in the game. He didn't have any form of attack, but I always had so much fun with his high jump ability in the game to get the mini kits, blue studs, and to reach otherwise inaccessible areas in the game. Of course, Tarpals, Grievous, and the Magna Guards had the jump ability as well, but Jar Jar was the OG jumper. But anyways, I'm happy to add another official LEGO minifigure to the collection, and speaking of Captain Tarpals, here is Jar Jar next to Tarpals and Boss Nass, and it is really cool having the Gungan collection and the TCS display complete now. This is just satisfying to see these guys lined up, and I love how the only official LEGO figure here is Jar Jar, but that they all blend together very well, and that's what I'm always looking for with custom figures. Anyways, let's move on to the next new addition to the collection, and that is the Skiff Guard. This figure was sent to me by Bosk Customs, and it is pad printed on official LEGO parts. To be honest, the Skiff Guard is one of the characters in the game that I have no memory of as far as playing as him in the game. I remember seeing him, of course, but I never actually used him. Anyhow, that's beside the point. To start with the positives on this figure, I think the pad print on the head mold is generally pretty great. This guy definitely has an interesting and somewhat intricate face print to pull off, and I think Bosk Customs did a great job capturing his look here for the most part. In particular, the eye wrinkle spots on the black lining there look great, and although there is a bit more space on the in-game model between the black lines and his eyes, it's still really solid. The only real issue I see with the head print is that on the in-game model, he does have an extra set of lines on each side of his mouth that extend down a bit below his mouth, and those are absent with this figure. I also do see a couple of minor issues to point out with the torso. So as you can see, the in-game model has the belt print that aligns perfectly with the top of the hip piece. The bottom belt print on my figure does not quite reach the hip piece. The two curved lines on the in-game model also reach all the way up to the top of the torso, and the print on my figure does not. Also, it appears the 4 black dots are not filled in toward the top of the torso on the in-game model, but this custom figure has them almost fully filled in black. So those are a few discrepancies between this figure and the in-game model. It's definitely not a deal breaker on this figure at all, but I did notice these couple things, so I wanted to mention them. And sometimes, again, there are slight differences in custom prints even from the same seller, so you might would order this figure and some of these things be corrected, but I just wanted to point them out on mine personally. Aside from that, the colors are perfect, and I still believe this is a worthy addition to the collection, and to my knowledge, this is the best Skiff Guard on the market right now. I've seen a couple of other ones, but they were crazy expensive on the custom aftermarket, so I do believe this is the best option right now. Anyhow, these are the two new minifigures that are being added to the collection display. We have Jar Jar Binks and the Skiff Guard. Let's go ahead and move over to the display case, where today we are going to 57 out of 126 playable characters from the Complete Saga video game. Let me know what you think about these new additions, and let me know which characters you're looking forward to seeing. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give this video a like. As always, my name is Jake with Psychwalker Studios. Keep collecting, care for your mind, and may the Force be with you.